Good morning, lovely people. It's Vlogmas Day 20. My little advent calendar has been updated. What time is it? It's about 9:45 in the morning. Another grey day. Kind of unexciting weather right now, but then we had the exciting weather earlier in the week with tons and tons of wet snow, and it built up quite a bit and then half of it melted again. So we may have a semi-white Christmas at this rate. Oh, excuse me ruffling the microphone briefly, but I have my Technicolor dream coat on today. I showered and got ready for work. Well, I dressed for work. I haven't done all the other stuff yet, like pack a snack and a water bottle and all that. But I did shower and dress, and because I'm only going to be wearing a t-shirt underneath my work vest today, I thought I need a warm layer, and I spotted this in the closet and I thought, definitely a day for being bright and colourful. I will probably change it out for a proper winter coat when I leave the house, though. Or not. I think what I'm going to do is wear my Santa hat to work today. I made this years ago. Years ago. I'd have to look at my Ravelry project page to remember when I made it. Ooh, that creamy coloured band has some fluff on it, which is making it look a little off colour, but it's not dirty. Just got fluff on it. Or it could be a bit of hair colour, who knows, from previous years. The way I made this, I'm not sure if I can remember exactly how I made it, but it was a bi-craftual project in that I knitted this brim, and the brim, I think, is double. Trying to remember now. I think the brim was knitted and doubled over with this boucle yarn, and then I picked up around and crocheted the body of the hat. Just made it up as I went along to make the right shape, and then made a really stupid pom-pom to go on the end. And I pull it out every year and wear it for at least a few days. I am working, what's it today? It's the 20th. I'm off the 24th. I'm off over the weekend. So I've only got the 23rd as an option to wear it next week, I think. Of course, I can wear it after Christmas as well, but it's not quite the same. So I think I'm going to wear this afternoon. It's a 4.5-hour shift. Hopefully I won't get too hot. But if I do, it's just too bad, because once the hat is on, the hat stays on because it squashes my hair. And if I take it off, my hair is going to look really, really flat. Yep. I've been writing in my December journal. I had this sparkly green gel pen on the coffee table, and I had used it to write a card for somebody. And so I was writing in my December journal today. I want to share some Facebook wisdom with you today. Now, I don't know if you use Facebook or not, but sometimes it's really bad. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's kind of blah. I find a lot of my Facebook feed these days is stuff I never asked to see and I don't want to see. Instead of seeing any posts by friends, I usually just see a whole bunch of things that Facebook suggests. A lot of which I could follow, but then it would just get overwhelming. So I just X the little thing. I know I don't want to see that anymore, or I just scroll by. But I saw some things this morning that made me think. And I thought I wrote them down in my journal. I'm using my journal for making notes about the vlogs I've been publishing and it had a packing list for what to take on my little anniversary retreat. And I'm adding in stickers just to make things more fun, because I have this pack of winter stickers that I bought from Michael's to make another journal. Oh, of course, I have my little jingly bells on here. So today I've been writing in here, which I'm going to read to you in a sec. And then this page I embellished with some snowflake stickers and a welcome winter one. I'm just having fun with it. So get ready for a little session of reading. I'm not sure where this quote comes from, but, you know, it's one of those things that comes up on Facebook. I cannot stress enough how important it is to do silly, frivolous things that serve no other purpose than making you happy. I think as crafters, we understand that completely. One of the groups I do follow happily on Facebook is called the Unitarian Universalist Hysterical Society. I don't know if you know anything about Unitarians, but when the kids were small, we did go to a Unitarian fellowship for 6 years, and it was a wonderful place to be. They are so open to any belief. You can be Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, agnostic, atheist, whatever, and you're welcome there. And so accepting of anyone, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual preferences, everything. It was awesome. And they have a very good sense of humor. And they like their coffee. They're always joking about how much they like their coffee. And so I definitely follow them on Facebook because they have, as I say, a great attitude to life. So this one comes out of that group today. Use the good china, burn the beautiful candles, eat the yummy treats, drink the special coffee. Use the things that will deteriorate anyway with time, but even the things that won't, use them so you get to experience their beauty and the pleasure and joy of using them, instead of keeping them tucked away in a box. Don't let the beautiful things in your life go to waste while you wait for that one special moment. That moment is now. Being alive is as special an occasion as it gets. Isn't that true? How many of us either are keeping things for good, or know people who have, or have had to deal with maybe other people's stuff that they kept for years and never used because it was too good to use? Maybe parents who had good china they only brought out for one day at Christmas, or just kept in a dresser just to look at. Why? I know people who have family that always left the plastic on the sofa because they wouldn't use it in case it got dirty. Kind of funny, isn't it? Well, you think about it, but then you look at your own habits and then you think, well, I've done that with yarn and fabric. I have kept special yarn because I didn't want to ruin it by picking the wrong project for it. Or I'm keeping my Cafe Facet quilt fat quarters for something special, but I should be using them. Same with my batiks. I have them tucked in a drawer and I very rarely use them because they're for special. I think 2025 needs to be the year when I just use it and enjoy it and not just hoard it away, squirrel it away, because we need to enjoy life now while we're alive, don't we? The danger of keeping it and letting your kids inherit it, that your kids might not want it, and they might just throw it away because they won't appreciate the value it had to you when you were alive. Yeah, food for thought. got a tickly nose now. I think getting this out the closet put some yarn fibres up my nose. I obviously need another cup of tea or coffee because I am so dry right now. One meme that my husband shared to Facebook this morning was just some little animated character. I think it was a frog. And the words were, "Another fine day ruined by responsibility." That just made me laugh, because I'm sure he shared it while he was sitting on the couch this morning thinking, I'd love to just stay home today and do stuff I want to do and not have to go to work. And I had the same attitude when I trudged into the kitchen and made myself a coffee this morning. It's like, if only I could keep my fleece onesie on all day and not go to work this afternoon. Just make things all day. And then I remember I do appreciate being able to have the ability to work, to have the physical fitness to work and the access to that, and to be able to earn money, which pays for me to have the freedom to do certain things or buy certain things. So it's a mixed blessing, isn't it? Sometimes we're not in the mood to go to work, but we do appreciate what it buys us. I also appreciate the social side of it as well. Those months when I wasn't working, I took a break from work last summer. I was just going to take a couple of months off, which extended over Mr. Stitch's cancer treatment time. And when he got the all clear, I was glad to go back and have a job, because I was definitely missing the social aspect of it. So everything has its benefits. There's another page I follow. It's called Sketches in Stillness. And I do like everything they post. And this is a quote from that. It was a pretty illustration. They do wonderful illustrations, and I'll just read some of what the writing said around it. I haven't copied it all out. But this is what it said. You're not obligated to continue holiday traditions that leave you overwhelmed and tired. Yeah, we're talking about mostly Christmas holidays, but any time where you feel like you have to do that, or you have to do this, or the family is expecting you to do this or that, or it's all on your shoulders to run the whole of Christmas without any help. Yeah, it's okay to start new holiday traditions. This one really resonates with me. It's okay to start new holiday traditions because, A, we moved away from family when we emigrated to Canada. And so we were free to start anything we liked with our 3 children once we arrived here, because we were not tied to our family's expectations of what we should be doing. And B, when stuffing the Santa stockings every Christmas Eve got to be too much for me, I created a new tradition where that wasn't a thing. And it really freed me up, and it made the rest of the family more engaged in making sure that our holiday in that time of the year was fun and enjoyable for me as well as everybody else. It's okay to say no. I think we forget that a lot. The greatest gift you can give to yourself and others is your presence. Presence. Don't put yourself into debt. Don't feel obliged to buy everybody everything. It's not necessary. It's okay to put space between things. Don't overschedule. Yeah, I never was a believer in that we should schedule a bunch of things in one day. I was reminded of that every time I met with a certain family who we know, who we only saw occasionally, but they were a sort of family who could pack every single day with back-to-back activities with no breathing space in between each one. That's not me. That would overwhelm me far too much. Oh, I really have a frog in my throat this morning. Where was I? It's okay to simplify. Again, same theme. If it's going to be too complicated, too stressful, too much for you, then definitely simplify the process. There's another page I follow called Tiny Buddha, and they shared something from someone called Sweatpants and Coffee, who I also follow, because they have nice little nuggets of wisdom that I really enjoy. And this is a quote from them today. Does it light you up? Does it calm your heart? Does it energize you? Make note of that. Pay attention to where you are, who you're with, and what you're doing. This is how you find your way home. I really like that one. I think that's a good reminder to be in the present moment too. I know it sounds really cliched now, but I do find that being in the present moment and not always thinking about what comes next is a great way to appreciate what's happening now, and for things that you're enjoying to not go by too quickly. And if you want it to go by quickly, just tell yourself this too shall pass, because everything is temporary. And here's another little quote from myself. Because sometimes when I'm in the car and my driving goes on autopilot, which I know it shouldn't, but sometimes your brain goes into funny places when you're not watching it, right? I had this thought the other day. If anyone tells you you have a high opinion of yourself, maybe a good response would be, thank you. It took me 60 years to finally learn to love myself, and I'm happy now. And I think I was thinking of that because there was a customer came through work the other day, and I was being my usual bright and bubbly self at work, because I try to put myself out there and to radiate happiness and friendliness and all the good things. And they said that they liked my attitude and they were happy with my help. And I said to them, some people don't like that. Some people find it too much. And yeah, sometimes you're going to be too much for people. But I think it's important to put out what you want to see back. If you are going to how can I put this? I think what goes around comes around. And again, that sounds like another cliche. But if you're feeling a little grumpy or a little crabby, and then it reflects in your face and your speech, then people are going to reflect that back to you. And it's just going to be a downward cycle. So when anyone asks me how I am, I usually say, fantastic, awesome. And they're surprised by that because they usually expect you to say, oh, okay, not bad or good or fine. And it's just a standard response. Whereas if you come back with a non-standard response, it surprises them. And I have written here in my journal, don't dim your light because others are squinting their eyes at you. That just popped out of my head when I was writing this first part. I want to feel like I am shining a light at people and that it's making their day better if possible. Even by the end of an 8-hour day yesterday, I was doing my best to do that. And continue to smile and spread a bit of joy, because the other option isn't an option for me. So that's your little stitches and slapdashery pep talk. That's my TED talk for the day, as they say. If you don't know what a TED talk is, you go look on YouTube. I'm sure most people know what that is right now. So I'm going to go and grab myself a bowl of porridge or something And a big glass of water because I have been croaking like mad while I've been talking to you. And I'll get my little tote bag ready with my water and a snack for work, and then maybe I'll have a bit of time to do something fun. Before I go to work, I thought I would add some gold thread to my cross stitch. I looked at how much I had of it and I decided to use it double, which is a good thing because I think single it would have left too much white showing through. But it's very slippery and the strands don't like to stay the same place, if you know what I mean. I'm having to be really careful about not leaving loops on the front and the back. But, oh, there we go. That focused nicely. I've done the star and this little bit here, and then I'm in the process of doing this bit, and then I've just got to do this bit. I just filmed a ceremonial unclipping of this from its little frame and then realised that it wasn't getting any sound. I must have forgotten to switch my microphone on. So we're going to try that again. All the outlining's done now. It's out of the frame. The instructions say to trim back the fabric a little bit and then glue it to some cardboard that was supposed to be in the kit, and if I had it in the kit, I don't have it anymore. I might have tossed it. Whoopsie. And then I need to put it in this little frame here. This is the backboard. And this is a piece of white paper which maybe they put in. I'm not really sure why they put that in. Maybe I'll just glue it to the backboard once it's trimmed. But of course, first I have to iron it because it's a little lumpy and a little bent at the edges. So it's going to look lovely once it's in the frame. And then I can put it on my tree. It's time to get on with finishing this little guy. I finished all the stitching this morning before I went to work. Got the iron on. I'm going to iron the back of it. I'm going to be fairly careful because this very messy back has that plasticky gold thread, and I don't know if it'll melt if things touch it. Just trim some of the longer threads here. Don't want to trim them too close just in case my stitches don't hold. The thing with the dark threads on the back is if they go across an area where it's just fabric and no stitching, then they'll probably show through when I put it onto the backing. I have my Fabri-Tac here. Look at the price of that. It says $25.15 on it. Crazy expensive. Obviously I didn't pay that for it. I would have got it on sale, but wow, not cheap stuff, eh? All right, let's just do a little bit of pressing over here. In fact, I might not even press the stitching. I might just press around where it's been inside the hoop. I pressed mostly around the edge where it's been in the hoop and then just steamed the bit in the middle just by hovering the iron above it. Obviously, this is not true to size. This is not exactly 1-to-1 size, is it? This is bigger. So I'm going to have to count squares. Also going to have to drink some tea. It's Yorkshire tea, but it is decaffeinated. Right, so let's see. I need it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 squares. So there. Wow, I'm going to cut a lot off. Okay. But that's weird. Why would this be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares and this would be 7? That doesn't make sense, does it? That won't make it centered. Because now I've gone and penciled it in on here. Okay, I'm marking it at 7 squares outside there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So before I cut that, because I'm a bit nervous about cutting that, I am going to trace the size of my backing that goes in the frame onto this Yorkshire tea thing. This is one of the pieces of cardboard I saved from a Yorkshire tea box a while back. And I made the Yorkshire tea box into a little journal for my friend Jane. She loved it. Definitely not using fabric scissors to cut the cardboard. Never fear. These little orange scissors were some I got for free, I think, in a pile of stuff from somewhere. I'm sure I didn't buy them, but they're greatest little things. They're really sharp. If I put the embroidery on that and then put that in the back. Oops. I guess, how is that going to stay in? I suppose it just pushes underneath those little lips there. Which means I'm going to have to trim that a little bit smaller. I'm pleased with that. I suppose it's good to keep the bulk of it out of the frame area. All right, let's just take the plunge. Moment of truth. Before it gets a chance to dry. That's not bad. Maybe ever so slightly wonky. I think I can see more fabric on that left-hand side. I may have to straighten it out a bit. And because I'm impatient, I'm not going to let it dry. I'm just going to put the backing on there and hang it on my Christmas tree. There. All finished. Oh, it's so nice to be home. We didn't finish eating dinner till almost 8 tonight, and then I did the dishes and made myself a cup of decaf tea and finished off that embroidery, and now I can just sit and feel like, the day is over. Oh, I feel like I brought the snow on a little bit last week because I said something about precipitation, didn't I, on here? I said a little bit of precipitation would be nice. We do need um, the lake to be topped up. We need our reservoirs to be topped up. And some rain or snow would be lovely. So guess what we had this week? A whole ton of rain and snow. The shift was quite fun. I managed to avoid being on cash for most of it. I condensed a whole bunch of Christmas floral picks, which are basically just, decorative things you can make bouquets with. Either silk type flowers or berry looking things, or there's all sorts of weird things. There's like little gifts on sticks and all that sort of thing. When I put them out a couple of months ago, I got absolutely smothered in glitter. There was all sorts of things. There was candy canes on sticks, there were berries, there were flowers, there were leaves. There's a lot less of it now, and I managed to condense it all down to about a third of a row and tip out about 10 pounds of glitter from all the floral bins into a trash can, because it's crazy. I am covered in this stuff. When I came home and I looked in the mirror, and the light caught all the bits of glitter on my face. That was funny. Not as much as I thought in a way, but still quite a lot. I had my pink Santa hat on all day, well, all afternoon. Only worked this afternoon. I got pretty darn hot in it. I was almost regretting it by the end of the afternoon because I was getting really warm. But when I took it off, I had an extra deep line of glitter right there. Oh, and I'm a bit sad because when I had my seatbelt on in the car and I tugged the hat out of the way, because it sort of falls naturally over my shoulder with the pom-pom, it sort of sits there quite nicely without me trying. But I got in the car and I had the seatbelt over it and I tugged it and the pom-pom came off, so I'm going to have to fix that. I just showed Mr. Stitches. I held up the hat and the pom-pom in different hands, with a pouty look on my face, and he had to laugh because it was rather funny. They were looking for someone to stay for an extra half an hour tonight because someone was going to be turning up late, and thankfully the other person they asked said yes, because I was not really willing to stay on. I just wanted to get home and make dinner. Now it's time to get back upstairs, get this video edited and put it up on YouTube for you. So I'll say goodnight for now, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.